As if to underline the Trump administration wants people to see these pictures of an arrest in New York City of an undocumented migrant posted online by the new Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, who added her own video statement.
We're in New York City this morning. We are getting the dirt bags off these streets.
We're getting the dirt bags off these streets, she said. It's a scene playing out across the U.S. Federal officers carrying out what President Donald Trump has pledged will be the biggest mass deportation in U.S. history. The immediate goal, he said, criminals. And while the raids have broad support in many parts of this country, some worry it's not just criminals being deported.
Yo voté por él.
I voted for him, said this woman in New York, because he's a businessman who cares about our well-being. But we are not all delinquents.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we?
At the White House, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt emphasized all undocumented migrants are now seen as criminals.
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals, as far as this administration goes.
But even with the U.S. military now reinforcing the wall that fortifies parts of the U.S.-Mexico border, it's clear there are hurdles for Trump's plans. In Chicago, a so-called sanctuary city, which promises shelter and protection for migrants in need, pushback.
We stand together firmly in our welcoming city status, as well as our commitment to protecting all residents of the city of Chicago, no matter where you come from or how long you've lived here.
But for now, Adrian, the raids continue.
I suppose, meanwhile, Paul, the United States was spinning over yet another directive from Donald Trump.
Yeah, and one with serious implications for all kinds of organizations here, schools, local governments, nonprofit agencies. Here's what happened. The White House issued a memo freezing all federal aid funding across the board. We're talking possibly trillions of dollars worth of loans and grant money frozen, just like that. Then there's to be an assessment of each group that normally gets the money so as to verify that they're complying with Trump's executive orders, for example, on ending diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. They'd have to prove they're ending them. For clarity on what it all means, it was put to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Here's part of her answer.
It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy.
Now, it's important to note, Adrian, those are all the kinds of things Trump campaigned on, and people voted him in part to do stuff like this, to reshape the U.S. government. Democrats and others, meanwhile, called the freeze illegal, reckless, and dangerous, and potentially hurting people in need, many of whom, by the way, would be among those who voted for Donald Trump in November. A bunch of states quickly sued to block the freeze, and this evening they want a reprieve, but only until next week.
All right. Paul Hunter in Washington tonight.
ICE agents are making a lot of arrests throughout the whole country, as you can see, especially in New York, where there's a whole bunch of illegal immigrants. Then you have sanctuary cities like Chicago. The government is suing them because they feel like they're protecting illegal immigrants. The mayor of Chicago made a statement that he's not going to work with the government. And I don't know how long he can continue to do that. Trump is ending DEI programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion. As you can hear, the press secretary states that it's over for that. And it's almost a month, and Trump has made major impact. So it's going to be interesting to see how the United States will look a year from now. I've never seen an administration be so aggressive in making sure they complete all the tasks that they set out to do, and definitely looking out, making what their slogan is, put in America first. So yeah, they've been very assertive and aggressive, and like they've said, put in America first. So again, this is just the beginning. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next video. Yay, yay.